So we're on to episode 6 of Ryan O'Connell's special on Netflix. It's the second season. Let's review it. Oh, look who it is. Sean Vickers. How are you?
Here's my weird, creepy hand. Hi, everyone.
Actually, my hand looks quite creepy.
It's really odd. It's just like...
Why does it do that? It's almost like it's bending it.
Look, it's like it's not mine. It's like I can move it around. Hello. Hi, everyone. It's been one of those days.
Yes, I am Phil Marriott. It's good to have you here. We're on to episode 6 of Special. God, it's just flying by. The thing is, though, people are going to binge watch this, I know. So if you are following us with every episode, we really appreciate that, because I know it's such a temptation just to watch the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm sure some of you have whizzed through it, and I'm sure we're slightly out of sync, but it's here, we're here. Maybe it's time for you to reflect and digest on the wonders of episode 6.
Yeah. And if you are here for the first time, I'm Phil, that's Sean, like I say, and we have been unpacking Special. We did a previous season back in January. We started off this Unpacked with It's a Sin.
It's a Sin.
Yeah.
Amazing, actually, recently to see It's a Sin back in the charts, with the Elton and Ollie Alexander performance at the Brits. It's the legacy of It's a Sin will go on for a very long time, and so it should.
Episode 6 then of Special, Prom Queens, written by Layla Cohen, and it is directed by Craig Johnson. A lot of things are going on again, like episode 5. I think we've got a mixture of topics. We've got culture, we've got the importance of family, acceptance, debt. Debt is rearing its ugly head again with Kim. And we start with Ryan writing his disability article at home. Tanner is there. It's quite a happy vibe going on.
Yeah, the energy's pretty good. Tanner wants to go to the Malibu wine safari. Ryan needs to write, but I think he decides that the Malibu wine party sounds kind of great, and Ryan can't blame him. We've all been that person that's had a deadline and something better is on the horizon.
The temptation. Now I just want wine.
Now I just want the Malibu wine safari.
I just have tea.
No tea.
So Olivia is flashing her ring. Such a brilliant scene where she's, I've got something in my eye. I've got to grab the scissors.
Yeah, well, regular viewers will know that I'm obsessed with Olivia. So I was like, get it, Olivia. It's so good.
But Kim does actually call her an actual demon. Because she has that energy where she's just always nasty to people.
I'm happy that she's marrying her lesbian lover, Ray. Give me Olivia 30 minutes a week. Brilliant. Stand up. That's its own little show. Brilliant.
Yeah, she needs her own show. Let's campaign for it.
I'm going to get on it.
So Ryan takes Tanner to Karen's, and she's wearing a caftan. She seems quite high. Like, it's almost like she's been smoking DBs.
I thought that. I was like, Karen is very, very chill.
She was on a happy vibe, a happy high.
Yeah. This whole thing, is strange.
Yeah.
To me
She's got reservations, hasn't she, about Tanner?
Well, there's the dinner prep is awkward. It doesn't feel loose. And prior to that, I think Ryan had met Kim, and they bonded over fragrances, and it was all kikis, which was nice. But this is a different energy.
She's cooking, but she hasn't even got prep for it. She's so last minute. Oh, should we put some pasta together? She's chopping the mushrooms. She's got nothing in. There's no enthusiasm at all. It's weird, isn't it? It's almost like she's sidetracked by this thought of Phil. She's just thinking of Phil and is so lovesick.
Yeah. But there is, you're right, actually. And she is distracted. And I think because of that, she probably has a short thrift with Tanner. He says a couple of things which are wonky, and that sets her off.
He says, I didn't know what CP was until I met Ryan. Which, in some ways, is quite nice, because he's not thinking of Ryan as someone with CP. He's thinking of Ryan as a person who's just Ryan. But in some ways, it's how naive can you be?
Well, that's what I find. It's either an extension of Tanner or it's slightly jarring, and I can't make my mind up, because Tanner has been so respectful of Ryan throughout the whole season. Language, energy, behaviors, and then this bit at the table with his mother just seems odd. Suddenly Tanner becomes quite clumsy with language. And it may be that, as you say, he hasn't seen Ryan's disability, but Ryan has a disability, and I think that's what Karen's trying to stress here, which is he does have a disability. You have to acknowledge it. It's not something you can brush away. And so I'm not sure. This is where it jarred a bit for me with Tanner, because I was thinking, is this the way they want to take the character? And if it is the way they want to take the character, is this... I'm not sure he would have been the person we've seen in the previous episodes if that was the case. So
it's a little bit of a disappointment, isn't it? But I do wonder if it was someone else, she would have still had that same reaction, because I think part of her is scared about losing Ryan, and it's like someone's coming in and taking him away, and I think she feels quite, I don't know, she doesn't feel so great about that. I think she's being protective, quite overly protective, as she always has been.
And she says that. She says, I'm just being protective. And I mean, that line, if you're happy, I'm happy, is such a deadly line.
That's so throwaway, isn't it?
It's that like skull emoji.
Yeah, totally. Like, very passive aggressive.
Yeah, very. And then the other line, she said, oh, he's young, which is also so dismissive. And so they just have it. You can just tell straight away. And also because of Ryan's relationship with his mother, it's so tight. He can also tell that they've not clicked.
It's a really awkward scene, isn't it?
It is the whole thing. But again, it left me thinking, is that the character development of Tanner? Because it did just like kind of take a real tangent from what we've seen before. But as you say, it may just be that he has just been like, I don't see it. You're just a person. And it's interesting when he's talking to, I don't know, it's something still doesn't sit right, and I need to resolve it. I'm just going to leave that there.
Because we've got another scene to talk about a bit later on, which is even more awkward than the dinner scene with Karen.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, though, we've got a celebration because we've got 5-day festival of lights in Kim's place.
Diwali, amazing.
Kim's parents.
Amazing. We meet Ravi, who's an immigration lawyer. They defo have chemistry. And also, Dev picks up on Kim's parents' energy as well. He's kind of like... He's been around for many years and he knows Kim's parents, and so he can sense or vibe something that's not right, which I think is incredibly perceptive, and I think he's got Kim's back. It's very clear they're tight. It's very clear they have chemistry. So that's nice to see, actually, after the previous episode where Kim had a really rough time.
Kim is a total firecracker in this episode, though. I mean, she is losing it a little bit. She's losing her patience with a lot of people as well, especially with her brother. When, they're fighting. And her brother comes out with that really weird line, which is, suck my 4-inch cock. And she's like, no, you just do not say that to your sister. And it's just so...
There's also a bit where Ravi's like, does your brother want to have sex with your mom?
Yeah.
Like...
Such a weird...
like Oedipus thing going on.
Weird setup, like, completely.
Really odd. I'm happy to see Ravi. He's great. I've got a lot of time for him because I think he truly has got Kim's back, and I think he cares, and I think he can see the situation that she's in.
Yeah, so Kim does make a confession to Ravi and Dev.
Yeah, about her debt, and Ravi's kind of shocked because it is a lot of money. But what we do find out later on is that they have a conversation and Kim's parents are going to pay off the debt, but there's a fallout to that, really, from that her parents are going to take on that stress, but there's a fallout for them, which is also kind of like, it's not that straightforward, is it?
It's not clear cut, is it? At all? Because you see her parents, and her parents do seem quite carefree and quite optimistic, but there's a lot of baggage there. I mean, Kim obviously has had a lot of problems in the past with them and her relationship with her parents. And it's all rising to the surface, isn't it?
Yeah.
All of this.
It is, but luckily, the big plus of that scene is that Ravi asks Kim on a date.
Yes. That's such a weird thing as well, because they've known each other since they were really young, but they've obviously had that relationship in private.
Well, they have been having a transactional bonk every Diwali.
One of those.
That's what we find out. Another transactional bonk.
But they've been doing it behind closed doors. I mean, it's in secret, which I guess is exciting. Secret. But
it is.
It's strange that they kept that a secret for so long and nobody's found out.
And I guess that's interesting, like the fact that Ravi asked him on a date. It's very different from a transactional bonk. It has a very different meaning and energy and sentiment. So let's see.
Yeah, she needs some happiness.
She does, totally.
Because we want the Kim that we saw at the beginning of this series. She's gradually becoming this very disgruntled, unhappy person. And we don't like to see that.
No, Kim. No.
Yeah.
Right, but there's the prom. We have to talk about the prom, Phil.
Oh my God. It's
I know.
So toe curling. And Tanner, naively, and he is doing things that he doesn't realise are a problem. But obviously you've got that circle of friends and they've got their own little party going on and they're all dancing. And then Tanner just makes everything about him. And he's dancing like, I don't know, like John Travolta out of Saturday Night Fever. And the jacket comes off and he twirls it around his head. And then he's on the floor. It's just awful. And the others,
inappropriate.
It's very inappropriate because the others, they all decide to go away and come out of that circle and go to the bar.
Yeah. Well, it also is a bit like What I Can Do.
Yeah.
On I'm Amazing.
Yeah.
And it just reads wrong. There's a scene where Tanner is talking to Kit and says, "Oh, I have someone in I have a wheelchair user in my dance class. Do you know her?" And it's just a bit like, Tanner, dude. And this is where I struggle because this episode, Tanner just takes a complete 180. And you just think, wait a minute, this isn't the same Tanner. Or maybe it is.
Yeah.
But we haven't explored his character.
We haven't seen that.
But it's just orcs.
But Ryan is so right, because later on when Ryan says to him that was a problem, why were you saying that? Because it's almost like you're saying to when straight people say to you, I know someone who's gay, do you know them? It's like,
you know them. There's this extension of the Tanner that we saw at dinner with Karen carrying through to the prom. There's this energy, this kind of very clumsy language that just doesn't sit right at all. I don't know. Would we have seen? I don't know whether we should have seen that earlier. This thing coming through, but it just comes very hard in episode 6, and there was a definite change in Tanner.
So, do you think that that's a problem with the makers of this show? Are you disappointed that he's almost become this problem character, whereas before we didn't see that, or do you just think that we just hadn't seen that element of his personality? Because it seems a bit rushed.
Yeah, it seems a bit rushed. I would hope it's the latter because, as I've said, I think I said in episode 2, episode 3, everything in this show is so considered. It's just so well considered and everything works so well that the character development of Tanner, I think, would have been better resolved. And so I don't know whether they're like, oh, he has to become this device because this device then triggers things that happen in episode 7 and episode 8. And we'll also talk about that later. But, I don't know. It's just something not right about it. The pace or the way that it's too... I don't know, Phil. I don't know the answer.
It's quite jarring. I guess it's the same problem or similar problem to what we had with It's a Sin, where it's a very short run, isn't it, for a series? There are only so many episodes, and obviously we've only got 8 episodes, which actually is not as long as some series. I mean, because some seasons, they go on for 10, 12 episodes.
But you might have 10 episodes at an hour, and this is 8 episodes at just under 30 minutes.
Exactly.
So it has got a pace to it, but I do feel this felt rushed and a little ill-considered, but that's just my view.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so Kim has that heated chat with her dad, and again, like we said earlier, it does seem quite nice that her parents are paying off her debt, but it comes at a price, I think. I mean, every pun intended there, I think. But yeah, and of course, she's with Dev and her brother with that comment that I mentioned earlier. It's all kicking off, firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's... What a tough situation for Kim, which is like, here is the resolution to her debt problem, but then creates a further problem.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do in that situation, Because she cares. She cares. Although she has probably quite a fractious relationship with her family, she still cares. They're her family.
I guess it's a very clever episode because we've got 2 more to come. And this episode does make you question a lot of things. I mean, we're talking about, all these problems that make you want to watch the next episode to find out if there's going to be a happy ending. But yeah, this episode again ends in a very poignant way. You see, Tanner saying he doesn't belong at the prom. He walks off. Ryan goes with him, catches up with him, but then he looks back and he sees Henry dancing. And it's that, should I go back with Henry or do I go with Tanner? What's the best person to go with? They've got their faults. They both got their faults, but am I going to be happier with Henry than Tanner?
Well, you're right. There's something interesting here because Tanner basically says, fine, I'm not going to hang out with your disabled friends because that makes my life easier. And in some way, that's a bit of a cop-out because he's kind of saying, oh, I could, if I don't, I'm not going to mess up again because I just won't be around these people. But that is incredibly, when you're in a couple with somebody or a throuple or whatever, however you can construct your relationships, there's always people that you're like, oh yeah, they're your friends or they're my friends, but to be able to say like I'm not doing that, I think is really brutal, especially very early on. They're a very new couple, so I really struggled with that. And actually, there's a power thing here where Tanner removes Ryan from a party that he should be at.
Yeah,
and he kind of it's kind of this kind of emotional blackmail going, well, I'm going to go off on my own and have a drink. And he kind of leaves it hanging for Ryan to go, oh, I'll come with you. But he leaves behind basically a party that he wants to be at, with people with shared experiences. I don't know, that whole thing. And it was like a full stop on the whole Tanner story in episode 6. So I got to the end of episode 6 and was like, oh, I'm not sure about this.
Exhausted. I know, yeah, because it's quite lazy, I think, on Tanner's part. And I think he's passing the buck a bit because Ryan wants to be at that party. It's all about how you behave around other people, regardless of what, circle of friends you're with. You should just behave responsibly and behave in a really decent way. And Tanner obviously hasn't done that, but it's almost like he's saying, well, I can't change. He should own up to his behaviour, I think. But
I think there's some of that. There's a bit of ego.
Yeah.
And there's definitely defensiveness, which is like, well, I can't do right, so I just want, it's easy to just go, oh, I can't do anything right here, so I'm just going to step away from the situation, rather than say, actually, people are people. I want to get to know people, but he doesn't. In this situation, for some reason, he's arm's length and wants to step away from it. And so, yeah, I don't know. It leaves a little bit of a bitter taste, I have to say, about the whole Tanner situation and how I feel for Ryan, really, because Ryan just needs someone decent, That's what I think. He's amazing and deserves someone who's amazing. And I've started to sour a little on old Tanner, I have to say.
It's very clever, though, because it's that classic story arc, isn't it? Particularly with movies, where you see in movies, something dramatic happens at the beginning, then you get to know the characters and everything's lovely. And then about a third of the way in the third act, you see something kicking off. And I think it's the same with this. We're on to episode 6, obviously 7 next. And will things be resolved? It's that classic story arc, isn't it?
Totally. Who knows, Phil? Well, actually, we know.
Yeah, we do.
Who knows?
I was going to say. And you might as well if you've seen all the episodes. We are encouraging you to come and join us in the live premieres, though. We've got the next one. Details on the screen now and down below in show notes. So check out all the information that we've got and come and join us in chat, because it'll be really great to hear what you're thinking as well.
Yeah, gorge. Do it. Get that fingers on those keyboards.
And will we mention another transactional bonk in the next 2 episodes? Only you can.
If I can squeeze in a transactional bonk on an episode, I'm going to squeeze it in.
There's always time. There's always a way. Thank you for watching, everyone. Good to see you, Sean. We'll see you on the next episode very soon. See you soon.
Everyone.